All right, idiots. Paul's on a book tour, so they made me do one of these dumb shits again. So let's do it. Hit the fucking song, Scott. Let's go.
What's up, jerks? How we doing tonight? Did you watch the flick? The time is right. Jason, June, and Paul get into it. Are you team sanity? Are you team Fred? Did you take some notes? Did you scratch your head? Did you take all your willpower to get through it? Did you ask yourself? All the people yelling Geostorm say, how did this get made? How did this get made? State them at the farmer's market say, how did this get made? How did this get made? The dog John, Jason, and June are gonna come in and rock the room, so sing and clap your hands. Say, how did this get made?
Whoa, that was a good one. Holy shit, that was great. Started off as a real slow jam, real like bedroom vibes. I was like, oh fuck. Our listeners get down? Our listeners, you know what? Let us know if you guys are fucking to these theme songs. I'd like to know. Thank you to Casey Alexander for that opening theme song. Wow, wow, wow. Anyway, it's me, Jason Mantzoukas. I'm going to be your host today. We're going to be going through the ugly truth, corrections, omissions. There's going to be voicemails. I think there's going to be songs. To help me out, producers Scott and Molly are on the line. So we'll all be chopping it up. Is that what people say? Chopping it up?
Now they do.
I wish I hadn't said it, but leave it in. We're gonna be chopping it up about the old ugly truth. Oh, God damn it, I hate this. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the ugly truth, and then later I'm going to go through a bunch of recommendations for movies and TV and a bunch of podcasts and all sorts of crap. Spoiler alert, I've already recorded that part of it. I'm punching this in right now. I've already recorded the whole episode, but in order to make it go smoother, Scott said, I needed to punch in and do this. He said, these people are idiots. They don't understand what this is. You've got to walk them through it beat by beat. And so I've done that. Also, don't forget, at the end of the show, I'm going to reveal what next week's movie is, which you already know. By now, you already know. These are not reveals. Scott's pointing at it like, make sure you tell them this. It's not a reveal. They know already.
These are notes for all the newcomers to the show. Paul's off on Colbert, Good Morning America, CBS Saturday Morning. Maybe we'll get some new people who don't know how Last Looks runs.
Okay. You know what, Scott? Actually, this is the first time you've said anything that's worthwhile. And I would like to yes and that in the parlance of improv. If you are new to the show, if you have just arrived after seeing Paul on one of the shows that Scott mentioned, or in one of maybe a reading, or in any other way, shape, or form, if this is your first episode, if this right here is your first episode, let us know, because this is not normal. This is not a normal episode.
Please go back, listen to the Ugly Truth main episode before listening to this.
Don't listen to this. Don't listen to this. It's good we're punching in. If you've never heard the show before, stop listening immediately. Listen to a real episode where we're all on talking about a movie. Then sometime later, listen to this, but not right now. Anyway, we're here. We're doing this dumb thing. We're talking about the ugly truth. Apparently, that's what the cursor on the thing in front of me is telling me to talk about. They sent me a script ahead of time. Did I look at it? I didn't. So we're cold reading the episode. Here we go. Plugs. New tour date. Bow, bow, bow. We are returning to my hometown, Boston. What do you think? You're better than me? Sunday, June 16th, we're going to the Wilbur Theater. Love it. Love the Wilbur. One of my favorite theaters. I saw many bands there when I was growing up. The Wilbur, the Orpheum. I saw Huey Lewis in the News. Don't worry about it. We're coming to Boston. We'll be hanging out. We're doing that. I believe I will also be there in the days leading up to it for the Comedy Bang Bang Tour. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that, but guess what, shitheads? I'm doing it. So boom, I'm going to be for the Boston dates at Bang Bang as of now. As all of this could change, but we do know Sunday, June 16th, how did this get made? The Wilbur Theater in Boston. And boy, do I like it when Boston shows live up to their Bostonness. Please, don't stop being absolutely wasted wearing hockey jerseys in the audience. I've never been to a How Did This Get Made show where there were so many hockey jerseys. It really, Boston, thank you for making me feel like any comedy podcast I'm a part of is about to become a fist fight. Okay, also, get ready. Nantucket Film Festival, Thursday, June 20th. Tickets are on sale now at nantucketfilmfestival.org. Yes, we're gonna fuck it in Tucket. Get ready. We don't know what we're doing. We're part of a film festival. No doubt it's gonna be a whole situation. It's on the tiny island of Nantucket, so very easy to get to, very easy to opt into this show. So I expect everybody to be there for the Nantucket Film Festival, Thursday, June 20th. How did this get made? nantucketfilmfestival.org. Okay. Oh, I'm already exhausted. Paul's book, Joyful Recollections of Trauma, is finally out. Buy it. If you haven't bought it by now, I swear to God, I will come to your house and I will punch you in the dick. God damn it. The book is great. Buy it. Get both the hard copy so you can get it signed and get the audiobook so you can listen to it in the goddamn car. You get it. Get the book. Okay, so many plugs. That's all the plugs. Okay, great. So apparently we're going to a break now. It's got, it's highlighted in yellow. It's bolded. It's in a much bigger font than the rest of the script. Break number 1. So after this, we're coming back with your questions, your comments, all about the movie The Ugly Truth, which I'll be honest, I have already forgotten. So here we go. Get to the break. All right, here we are. We're back. We're here to talk about, guys, The Ugly Truth, a movie that Discord user Fun Facts 47, a bunch of words that don't make any sense together, a movie that Discord user Fun Facts 47 thinks should have had the tagline, The Ugly Truth, Jagged Little Red Pill. By the way, Scott, I don't mind telling you, terrible introduction to this section of the show. Just a word salad of nonsense. I can't make heads or tails out of any of that, but maybe you guys can. Anyway, so you guys had stuff you wanted to talk about regarding The Ugly Truth. You sent us in, I'm assuming voicemails, or maybe just notes that we're going to check in terms of, maybe what we got wrong or things we left out. You get the fucking deal. If you're listening to this, you know what corrections and omissions are. So why don't we, if you don't mind, Scott, hit him with the theme?
Got an error. Don't you worry about a thing. We're here to correct. Corrections and omissions. We're on the case. Take it away, Paul.
Okay. That's a banger. That's a 10 if it had said, take it away, Jason. The fact that it said, take it away, Paul, makes it a 3. That is from Carlo Tiafilo. Thank you, Carlo Tiafilo, for your corrections and omissions theme song, which I loved. It had a real, it's a bop. It had a real vibe. I enjoyed the hell out of it until at the very end, it was personally an egregious personal failure by naming Paul and not me. So fuck you, Carlo Tiafilo. Eat shit. Now let's go to the Discord. How do we go there, Scott? How do we go to the Discord? It's like we're going to Never Neverland. How do we get there?
We're already here. I brought the Discord to the script.
What? Ooh la la. Okay, so first up, Nassim. Nassim writes, you guys pointed out that Katherine Heigl's cat is named D'Artagnan after one of the Three Musketeers, and Jason joked that could mean she has 2 other dead cats. I remember that. Solid joke. That's me putting that in. That's not what Nassim said. Anyway, picking back up with Nassim, while D'Artagnan is the main character in the Three Musketeers, he is not one of the actual Musketeers. Oh boy. Is this a gotcha? Is Nassim writing in a gotcha?
I think he is.
Oh, God. Am I the...
This is embarrassing, Jason.
I guess I'm an idiot. Okay, so Nassim writes, they are Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. Those are the Three Musketeers. D'Artagnan antagonizes them at first, but then quickly befriends them and becomes the fourth musketeer of the story. Bottom line, there might be 3 dead cats, not 2. Got it. So it's a bit of a gotcha, and it's also so in fact, my joke would have been, maybe my joke would have been funnier and landed if I had instead said D'Artagnan, of course, the main character. Let me try my joke again on you guys. Oh, her cat's D'Artagnan, which must mean that there are at least 3 other dead cats somewhere around, i.e., the titular Three Musketeers. As we all know, D'Artagnan was the main character in the Three Musketeers, but who was not down with the Three Musketeers until he befriended them and then became a de facto 4th Musketeer. End joke. Good? Better?
I'm laughing.
I'm crushed. That's crushing it.
I think I'm going to edit that version in and re-upload the episode.
Please do. Oh man, I wish I could go back and redo a lot of my jokes based on the fact-checking and gotcha journalism of Discord. Thank you, Nassim, for that correction. It is in fact paramount to understanding why my joke didn't work. Thank you. Johnny Unusual writes, so Gerard Butler's character is named Mike Chadway. Around the time of the film, Chad became internet slang, especially in incel spaces, parenthetically, meaning a young sexually active alpha male. So Mike Chadway is literally showing everybody the Chad way. Okay, Johnny Unusual. Yes, Molly.
Are there a lot of incel spaces? Is this like a community that has interaction with each other? Or?
Oh, I think yes. I think that's quite a bit of what's happening. I think that that's like that is what's going on. I think that is those kind of Reddit, 4chan communities, looks maxing, all that kind of stuff. I think that is part of I'm sure. Listen, Johnny Unusual, maybe you can write back in with more clarification on incel spaces. Johnny Unusual puts in quotes. Anyway, yes, I'm certain. I mean, the internet is a gathering space for me to talk about Joni Mitchell with other Joni Mitchell fans, sure. And for I guess incels to talk about incel stuff. I would assume. I
mean, I always thought it was a very solo activity, or very insular. So I'm happy to know that they have community, I guess.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that a lot of the reason that some of this stuff takes off is because people find each other in online communities and perpetuate stuff that is, listen, if you're a flat earther out there and you're listening to the show, I'm curious. What's up? How, where, why? Send us a song. Send us a theme song. Send us a theme song that illustrates, for corrections and omissions, why you believe the earth is flat and how you think it's not round. That would be great. I would love that.
You would love that as the person who doesn't have to screen all the phone calls.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the deal. Give Scott more work.
Hey, Molly also helps with phone calls as well.
Oh, okay. Don't give Molly more work.
Oh, no.
Just give Scott more work.
I'm brutal. Yeah. Anytime they start talking about thirst comments about Jason, deleted.
Get him out of there. Not interested. Get him out of there. Okay. Sean McBee from Discord writes, for the vibrating panties scene, it was my full expectation that there would not be a remote in the box at all because Gerard Butler would have taken it. This would not only explain the opened box and allow for him to have been the one controlling it, but it would also give the opportunity for him to gloat that he knew she would put the panties on, further establishing him as a man who has women totally figured out. When he was surprised that she was wearing them in the restaurant, I was entirely disappointed. Well, Sean McBee, I'm not going to lie, I thought the exact same thing that you did. I thought that for sure, Gerard Butler was going to have the remote and was going to then be able to use it, I assumed, when they were not together, right? That they would be separated, she would be at the business dinner, and he would be remotely activating the thing from someplace else, and would be the funny scene. Now, you are saying that you are disappointed that wasn't the case, Sean. And I'm saying disagree strongly. Your disappointment unfounded because, boy, was it so much better that instead it was a child that was making the vibrator work, a child that was causing Katherine Heigl to have a full body orgasm in the middle of a crowded restaurant where a child is present with the remote control for the vibrating underwear. That's a scene we wouldn't have gotten if your version, Sean, was true. So that makes your version much worse. So your disappointment, well, you're totally entitled to it, I think is wrong. We got what we got, thank God, even though I can't even imagine why they made the choice they made. To give that remote control to the child was easily the most insane. What children are given access to in the movie The Ugly Truth is bananas. Truly. I don't understand why there's even kids in the movie. Shouldn't be. Get them out of there. Get kids out of my movies. How about that? Okay, so that's what people were writing about on Discord. Now we're going to go to the goddamn phones. Scott, play me down.
All right, and for this first call, just a little backstory in case you don't remember, because I know you taped this a long time ago.
Why do we even need backstory? We shouldn't need backstory for phone calls. I got to be honest. If your phone call needs backstory, don't make the call.
This phone call is in reference to June mentioned she got some dating advice from an unnamed friend. That was essentially to be a lighthouse when texting a guy, which was sending the guy kind of a fake accidental text to kind of guide them to you later.
What? Okay. I don't remember this, but okay, go ahead.
This is anonymous.
Hi, this message is for June, specifically about her relationship advice about being a lighthouse. And I once heard this same advice. I believe it was given originally on a Bitch Sesh episode, and I would tell all my friends about it. I'm like, oh my God, listen to this great lighthouse advice, until one of my friends told me that lighthouses are actually to deter boats, and they actually are supposed to warn ships of like dangerous coastlines. So maybe don't be a lighthouse, because you may never get a ship to come close to you, if that's what you would like. Just thought I would share. Bye.
Yeah, no, wow. You know what is interesting whenever I drop into this is how seriously people take the stuff that I don't think is meant seriously. And maybe I'm wrong, Anonymous, but because I agree with you in the context of what you're saying, a lighthouse is a warning. It's saying, hey, don't come here. Don't come over here. Here is land. You might not be able to see it right now because it's dark, but that's why we put this lighthouse here on this promontory, so you don't come close and get fucked up on the rocks. Okay, so that's what a lighthouse is. You're absolutely right. Now maybe I'm wrong. Now, to be a lighthouse, that's not what June was suggesting. It's not a warning, right? What's the advice?
So that's what they're saying is essentially the phrase "to be a lighthouse," as June was saying, was incorrect, because she was saying that like once you get a guy's number,
you're saying Scott. I want to make sure you're saying June was incorrect.
This is anonymous.
Said it twice. You just said it twice, Scott.
Nobody loop this and post it anywhere, or June is gonna ream me.
I don't know. I think we're drilling down too deep into this. I don't think June meant it the way you're taking it, Anonymous, but I agree with Anonymous that a lighthouse is meant to be something that warns people away from. That would be like saying, in order to attract someone, you should wave red flags at them.
But
no.
Also, though, like a lighthouse would cause the gentleman in the situation or the other person in the situation to chase after you,
to look,
to
chase
after you.
Well, what's interesting, I think what you're chasing is right, Molly. I think that's what's behind this idea is like shine a bright light. Shine your light onto someone. let them see how bright your light is, and then they will find you or whatever. That's my guess is what it is to stand out and to shine a light on something. But I do think it's confusing only because if you drill down into it, yes, a lighthouse is there to warn people away from that exact location. So you shouldn't be like a lighthouse warning people away from you, but you should be like a lighthouse. Let your light shine. Let your light shine on the people that you want to shine it on. Right? Does that make sense? Or is this crazy?
Be a North Star.
Wait, what?
Be a North Star guide
hold on.
them.
Be a North Star?
The North Star guides you.
The standards for women are so impossible. We cannot be North Stars. We cannot be lighthouses. Just be you, bro.
Just be you, bro. Thank you, Molly.
Yeah.
That's very well said. Just be you, comma, bro. And that's what we're doing. Graham from Saskatchewan, go.
Hey, Paul.
No,
Graham from
Jason.
Saskatchewan here. Great job on the show about The Ugly Truth. Just want to give you a little tidbit about Sacramento. Those who follow Canadian football here in Canada think of only one thing when we think of Sacramento. It's the city that was the very first American city to ever play in the CFL. It was the Sacramento Gold Miners in 1993. They lasted 2 seasons before they moved to San Antonio, where they eventually folded. And so Sacramento isn't good enough to even have a CFL team. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, Graham from Saskatchewan, giving us a lot of an info dump on Canadian football. Just, wow. I know he said a bunch of stuff. Sacktown apparently had a team. Canadian I don't know what's up. I'll be honest. This is the first time I'm finding out there was a Canadian football team.
I'm really upset right now.
Why? Because I don't know about football?
No, Graham from Saskatchewan trying to throw shit on Sacramento's name. Fuck you, Graham.
Whoa. Hang on. Molly, go off, girl. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm pissed. Okay, first of all,
Graham from Saskatchewan. Sit down and take it.
Listen to me, a person who doesn't care about sports, talk about sports.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan, do you guys have an NBA team? Do you guys have a basketball team that can light
Graham?
the beam up? No. So fuck you. No one cares about football.
Yeah. Eat shit, Graham from Saskatchewan.
Do you have a minor league baseball team called the Sacramento River Rats? No.
Yeah, Graham. What's up with your curling league, Graham?
Lame. Sorry, I'm pissed. The Ugly Truth, though, did show Sacramento in a very excellent light as opposed to Beautiful Disaster, which was shot in Bulgaria. The Ugly Truth actually shot in Sacramento, which is pretty cool.
Wow. Okay. I mean, Molly, is this where I am finding out that you are from Sacramento?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Wow. I had no idea. Huge reveal.
Huge reveal, yes.
Wow. Okay. So, Graham, wow, you really got it. Double barrel from Molly. And you know what? We don't need to hear, you guys know how I feel about Canada. Not a fan. Also, don't like football. You're telling me Graham from Saskatchewan's calling about Canadian Football League? Pass, hard pass, no. Next call, go to the calls. Scott, go now.
There's no more calls. We're going back to the Discord. We're going back to the Discord.
Back to the Discord? I already said we finished the Discord. You're making me look like an idiot.
Yeah, we do a little Discord sandwich. Discord call Discord.
Why didn't you say Discord sandwich? Because I look like an asshole because I said we were done with the Discord. And now it's written in here, back to the Discord. No, we should have one Discord section, then phone calls. There's too many we're going back and forth too much. Here we are. Here we are. I'm going to read these things from the Discord. More Discord things. Okay. Dr. Guts 1003 writes, if Gerard Butler is so confident in his skills at helping Katherine Heigl get together with Colin, why hasn't he helped his sister find a man? So I believe Dr. Guts 1003, and I'm shocked that this wasn't clear to you, I believe he's helping Katherine Heigl get together with Colin because they have the sexual chemistry and they are the leads of the movie. I think if in the movie I think if in the movie he had eschewed helping Katherine Heigl and Colin get together, and instead it had been focused on him helping his sister find true love, and then by your rationale, he would have fallen in love with his own sister and realized she's the one for him. Dr. Guts, 1003, I understand you're trying to promote a pro-incest version of this movie. Respectfully, I disagree. I think the movie is the way it should be. It should be a love story between Katherine Heigl and Gerard Butler. I don't think it should be about Gerard Butler and and Bonnie Somerville, who played his sister. I think that would be just gross. Back to the Discord. Wait, Johnny Unusual again?
He's back.
Johnny Unusual coming in hot, apparently. Loved this episode. Johnny Unusual writes, as a straight dude, I need to say having Katherine Heigl sexually suck on a hot dog isn't sexy. I won't yuck the yums of anyone who this works for, but I feel like of all the phallic food, a hot dog is a bad idea because of the condiments, the bun, and the choking hazard element. Johnny Unusual, I gotta disagree with you there. The choking hazard element is a plus. I think that's a feature, not a bug. I disagree with you wholeheartedly, Johnny Unusual, because I think hot dogs are easily one of the most easily phallic things that also goes at a baseball game. Aren't they at a baseball game?
Yeah.
Well, imagine. So what, Johnny Unusual? You think they're at the baseball game. She needs to have a phallic thing. Oh, she just happens. Oh, wait, maybe there's a guy walking around. There's a guy walking, peanuts here, popcorn here. There's a guy being like, bananas here, bananas. Get your ripe bananas here. What do you think, Johnny Unusual? You're at a baseball game. You need something. You're telling me. And your rationale is because of the condiments, the bun, and the choking hazard. So you're saying that takes you out of imagining the hot dog as a dick. You're like, it's too dressed up. I don't like my dicks dressed up with clothes and condiments on them. Guess who? Johnny Unusual, get out of here. There's no other food that could have normally been served. I mean, a corn dog, maybe, you know what? I take it back. Maybe I can imagine a corn dog being served at a ball game and her using that. But you know what? Then Johnny Unusual would be writing, you know what? I didn't like the corn dog to suck on because, it's dressed, the dog is dressed in all that corn, all that cornbread, all that bread's around it. I don't want, when someone is sucking my dick doesn't have a bread all around it with condiments on it, says Johnny Unusual. You know what? No, disagree. The scene, I don't think the scene works sexually. Let me be clear, Johnny Unusual. I think you're not wrong. I wasn't turned on, but you're 100% wrong as to the why. I think there are other people who here's, you know what, Johnny Unusual? I'll put it back on you. Why don't you watch a few scenes from a TV show that people call The League, where my character, Rafi, pulls hot dogs out of his pocket all the time and chows down on them sexually. Watch that and tell me if you're not a little turned on, Johnny Unusual. I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yums, but you're going to be yumming all over the place when you watch those scenes from The League where I eat hot dogs. There are so many of them. Anyway, okay. Wow. Okay, here's what it says in the script. I'm just going to read it. So many great corrections and omissions. Were there so many great? Okay, no, there were. Here's what it should write. Here's what it should read. Well, many corrections and omissions this week, everybody. Okay, but guess what? There can only be one best, and this week's best is Nasim. Nasim, you win because you know what? Even though it was a bit of a gotcha and it was a bit of a, hey, you got it wrong, to me, directed at me, it was nonetheless directed at me. Everything else was for Paul. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Paul. Paul this, Paul that. Guess what? I'm here today, and Nassim helped me gain clarity on exactly what's going on in the Three Musketeers and correcting me to know that the Three Musketeers are three other people, and D'Artagnan was the fourth, who was their enemy and then their friend, and thus became the fourth Musketeer. So I don't understand. I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to read it. But Nassim, you win the week. Great job. Thank you for participating. And here, inexplicably, is a song that is just winner's theme. There's a winner's theme? Come on, everybody. We got to stand on our own 2 feet. We're going to get pumped up here. Rob from Long Island has it. It's the winner's theme. Hit it, Scott.
Hey, you! Congratulations, you won! A nice vacation and an in-ground pool and a car. But we gave it away to a charity because we all know just how selfless a person you are. But we don't want to send you away empty-handed. That's not what this all is about. So here, take the garbage with you as you leave, and don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. You win!
Great. Rob from Long Island, home run. I loved it. I loved great vibes. I liked the message, good work. Okay. If you've got thoughts about our latest episode, hit up the Discord at discord.gg/HDTGM. That's where to go to find us. I'm assuming the GG stands for Gilmore Girls. Yep. So discord.gg, aka Gilmore Girls, /HDTGM. That is where you go on the Discord for this show, our show. How did this get made? Not Gilmore Girls. I'm sure there's one for Gilmore Girls as well, and you can go figure that out. But you can also leave us a voicemail, as so many people have, at 619-PAUL-ASK. That's 619-PAUL-ASK. Leave us a voicemail. Make them short. Get to the point. If you want, it might be smart to maybe write it down a little bit. Write down what you want to say so you can be cogent, thoughtful, concise, and really get it out there. So you're not just like logging onto the Zoom and freestyling a whole episode without having once looked at the script. Maybe respect the people you work with and like write it down a little bit and do a little bit of legwork beforehand. You don't have to be such an asshole. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay, leave all this in. Okay. Coming up after one final break. Wow, we still have a break. So, too many breaks. Okay, by the way, keep all this in still. Okay, coming up after one final break, I'll reveal next week's movie, and I'll also recommend a few things that I'm currently loving. But first, the audience in Glasgow had so many great questions about The Ugly Truth that we wanted to share more of them with you. We cut some out. That's what you don't know. There's a lot of stuff we cut out of the episodes. And you guys at home, you don't get to hear any of that shit except for right now when we're giving you a couple of morsels. So here we go. Bonus deleted scene from the show. Check it out.
Hi, my name's Claire.
Okay, what's your question?
So my question is, what did you think of Gerard Butler's accent or lack thereof, and why was he speaking from the corner of his mouth for the whole time?
Yeah, so we did touch on this a little bit, right? Was he doing an accent? Was he not doing an accent?
I do think he was trying to. I mean, listen, the exposition about his entry into this country was also strange because it sounded like he came here on a Little League scholarship. I couldn't understand what that was.
One of the facts about him was that he urinated on someone.
Really?
Wait, Gerard Butler or
yes,
the character?
It was like he got charged with public urination. On someone.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
I see.
Sorry, not Gerard Butler, but maybe.
I mean, here's the thing. He clearly, this accent, this beautiful, mellifluous accent that you all have, beautiful. He clearly can't get rid of it. So they had to put some little line to explain it there. And by the way, boy, did it make him charming. I'm in the bag. I'm in the bag for Jerry.
That's why I was like, just make his sister have the same accent as him.
Insane that it's Bonnie Somerville just being like, I don't know what he's doing.
I literally watched a movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger played a border patrol cop on the border of Mexico with that accent. I didn't question the goddamn thing.
Does it? I didn't think about it American, for a second. I was like, Sacramento's own Gerard Butler? Absolutely.
Fine by me.
All right, your name, your question.
My name is Raymond. The logic of the film is that Butler becomes a prick because his heart's breaking by women. Does that mean Colin is going to turn into a prick because we don't find his story? And one last thing. Another title for the film, Gerald Butler. Beano Storm!
Wait, say it again. Wait, oh no.
Say it again.
Paul's right.
Beano Storm.
Oh, thank you. It's incredible how many syllables the word film has in this accent.
I know, I was really trying to understand.
That's where I got lost. When you put, I think, 4 syllables in film, which is 1. Wow. All right, welcome back. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that every Monday we put out an old How Did This Get Made episode back into the main feed. This past week's Matinee Monday was Ernest Goes to Jail, a conversation that I barely remember except for June expressing her desire for Ernest, that he is, when he's evil Ernest, that he's handsome. And that's this episode so long ago that it is part of the opening theme song, the current opening theme song. Bad Jim Varney looking kind of nice, I believe, is the lyric in the theme song. And next week, another How Did This Get Made classic, certified classic, Moonfall. Guys, Moonfall is awesome. Moonfall is absolutely perfect for this show. In that way that Geostorm, it's got big Geostorm energy. Moonfall, loved it. Check it out. Watch it. This to me, Moonfall, absolutely one of those movies that you've got to watch. Don't be like, I'm not in the mood. Watch it. You're not going to regret it. It's a goddamn home run. Okay, it's finally time to announce, dun, 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 our next movie. Oh, you're all waiting. Everybody's listened to the whole show just to wait for this one moment. And you're right. Next week's movie is one of the biggest box office flops from this year, 2024. That's recent. This movie is only months old. It is called Madame Web. Madame Web, which also features, I'm not going to lie to you guys, How Did This Get Made? All-Star, certified all-star Adam Scott. Wow. Who's watched all the Fast and Furious movies with us, except for the last one. And an integral part of the How Did This Get Made team. He is a dear friend, and boy, did we just go to town on him in this Madame Web episode. So if you want to hear what we said full blast, you better listen to the app. Rotten Tomatoes rates this film at 11% on their tomato meter. Please, come on. We got to stop talking about Rotten Tomatoes and the tomato meter. It's flawed science. Get rid of it. David Sims from The Atlantic, personal friend, a past guest of this podcast, and I am a past and hopefully future guest on his podcast, Blank Check. Quote, David Sims, I almost admire the sheer lack of effort on display in the acting, storytelling, and set pieces. To say that Johnson in particular phoned in this performance would be an insult to Alexander Graham Bell. Unquote. Whoa. Savage takes from Sims. Wow. The Atlantic, David Sims is just one of the best in the biz. Read him in The Atlantic. One of the most interesting people writing about film these days. Okay, so I gotta be honest with you. We've already recorded this episode. It's dynamite. I had a great time. Spoiler alert: I loved it. I loved the movie. I'm sorry. I'm a week early, and I'm telling you already. I loved it. 5 stars. 5-star movie. Madame Web. Loved it. So we're gonna play the trailer for this now? Do we have to listen to it?
No, you have to throw to it, but we don't have to play it. We'll insert it in post.
Let me now throw to the trailer. Madame Web.
I can see the future. Ezekiel Sims. He's got these crazy powers.
I'm more interested in why he's trying to kill us.
In the future, those girls are going to destroy me.
If you want to live, you have to trust me.
Madame Web, coming soon, exclusively in cinemas.
Okay, so that was the trailer for Madame Web. You can stream it, all over the place. It's free on Netflix. If you want to, you can rent it all over the place. Any streaming service will have it for rent, but you don't have to. It's free on Netflix. Also, you can watch it on Hoopla or Canopy if you have What, Scott? Why are you interrupting me? What do you possibly want? I'm talking about libraries.
It's not on Hoopla and Canopy, but we like to plug those services separately as just free services you should check out.
But it's not on there?
It's not on there, no.
Okay, so what a fucking bait and switch. What a rug pull. Also, we would love to shout out Hoopla and Canopy, but guess what? You can't watch this movie there. See, Scott, that I don't like that. We're giving people a problem.
All right, I'll admit it. I've invested in Hoopla and Canopy.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Anyway, I agree. Hoopla and Canopy, Canopy especially, free service provided by the library. We love libraries. We love librarians. We love everything that's going on at the libraries these days. So if you didn't know, let me be the first to tell you, a lot of the movies that we do on this show are available for free on these library-supported apps. So what are you doing wasting your time renting them or watching them with commercials? You're out of your mind. Get to the library. Oh, okay. Did we do I'm sorry. Is there a section for the Discord about libraries, Scott? Do we have more Discord people? Does Dr. Guts 1003 have any thoughts about the library, about Hoopla and Canopy, Scott? God damn it.
He sent a couple pages in, but I'll skip them this week. We'll give it a Paul next time.
Okay, so this section says Jason's Picks segment. Great. So before we wrap up, I've got some stuff that I want to talk about. I wrote a bunch of stuff down. I thought this was going to be most of it. I wrote a whole bunch of stuff down because I thought I was going to do this for most of it. But instead, I had to read all this garbage from you guys. So I hope you're happy. Well done, assholes. R.I.P. David Sanborn. You've heard me talk here about Night Music, the TV show Night Music, the Sunday night companion piece, 2 seasons companion piece to Saturday Night Live, produced by Lorne Michaels and Hal Wilner, and hosted by David Sanborn, alto saxophone player David Sanborn. Incredible musical host, incredible musician. One of my favorite shows. I've been watching it. There's a ton of episodes on YouTube. Night Music is the song. I can't recommend it enough. I guarantee a band that you like at some point was on that show. If you want to watch the Pixies or Sonic Youth, from Sun Ra to Sonny Rollins, this is an incredible collection of live musical performances from such an interesting variety of acts that I cannot recommend it enough. It's Night Music. R.I.P. David Sanborn. Fantastic. TV shows. I want to shout out some TV shows. These are all British TV shows, okay? I've talked about Such Brave Girls before. The show is fantastic. They just got ordered for season 2. Now's the time to watch season 1. Go. Extraordinary season 2. Show's fantastic. I think both of those are on Hulu. I didn't write down where these are. But look in the show notes. I'm gonna make Scott make links to all of these. Such Brave Girls, Extraordinary. The John Brown Show, Dead Pixels, fantastic. The show, there's 2 seasons of a beautiful show called Mum on BritBox starring Leslie Manville. It is absolutely fantastic. It's very funny, but also very sweet and heartbreaking. It's giving me big Roger and Val vibes. If you've heard me talk about Roger and Val Are Getting Home before, fantastic, incredible show. Alfred Molina and Dawn French, beautiful half-hour show. This gives me a lot of those vibes. Great show. Mum, M-U-M. On Hulu, British Tudor set murder mystery, Shard Lake. Shard Lake. That's the detective. It's apparently books. Haven't read them. Didn't know it. But it's a murder mystery set in Tudor England. You've got a bunch of great players in there. It's a blast. Shard Lake. But here's the also, I'm gonna keep running the board here. I don't care. We Are Lady Parts season 2 out now. You're a fool if you're not watching it. It's one of the best half hours of television going. Season 1 and season 2, both on Peacock. Absolutely dynamite show. And the show creator, Nida Manzoor, Also had an incredible, one of my favorite movies of last year called Polite Society. I can't recommend it enough. It's available to stream. It's a great movie, and We Are Lady Parts back for season 2. Season 3 of Shoresy coming up soon. I'm just putting it on your radar, guys. Shoresy coming up, season 3. I'm rewatching and really want to talk passionately to everyone in our audience about the Andy Daly Show review. This show was on Comedy Central many years ago. I'm in an episode of it, full disclosure, where we Andy and I both smash cars into oblivion. I spent an entire day smashing a car to bits with an iron rod and have never been so sore in my entire life. For like the 3 days afterwards, I was destroyed. The show is top to bottom, T to B, one of the funniest, silliest, smartest, most absurd shows I've ever seen. I loved it then. I love it even more now. It is a slept on gem. It is a classic. It is absolutely one of the most hilarious shows of the last 20 years. Review. It is now available to stream on
probably Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus. I bet you're right, Scott. Paramount Plus. You're right. I bet that's it. So Review on Paramount Plus. Also, pound for pound, the funniest show that's working right now, Girls 5 Eva. Season 3 just came out, and it's a banger. The show is absolutely hilarious. You guys know I love The Kings, Good Wife, Good Fight. Elsbeth, coming off of Elsbeth Tassioni, one of the side characters in all these shows, has her own show now. It's fantastic. It's called Elsbeth. There's 10 episodes. Go watch them. It's a blast. And also season 4 of the fantastic Kings show Evil has just come out or is just coming out. I can't remember. I don't know when it is in relation to this dropping, but that show is available on Paramount Plus, and they're 4 seasons in. This 4th season is going to be the final season. It's fantastic. The show is a blast. Last but not least, I was on John Gabris's podcast High and Mighty recently. And we talked about a whole bunch of stuff, Dad TV, all sorts of stuff. But one of the things we talked about was being a middle-aged guy who is only now starting to get into or try and figure out anime. Like, I now have a Crunchyroll subscription. So, actually, that's a good question. So if you're out there, now don't go crazy with this, guys. But if you're out there, I'm watching a show called Frieren that is, I think, absolutely incredible. This show. This is a absolutely stunning, beautiful show about friendship and the found family, and it's about a fellowship of adventurers that are fighting demons and dragons and all sorts of stuff that you would expect from high fantasy. But it's also a show that's about human connection and aging, and it's about the relationships that we have and what it takes to maintain them and what it feels like to lose touch with people and then find them or find them too late. Or it's such a human show. It's a show about being human, told through the eyes of an elf who is essentially immortal. And so what is it when you live that long and time is so, it seems to just stretch out in front of you. What is the lifespan of a human? It's a blink and their life is done. And so it's about this elf named Frieren who it kind of jumps back and forth in time to these two different fellowships she has, and how she is dealing with them and learning how to be more engaged and a better. Anyway, I don't want to drone on about it, but boy, it is absolutely stunningly beautiful. And nothing, they still fight dragons and do all that stuff, but it's about so much more. It's called Frieren Beyond Journey's End, and it's absolutely dynamite. Okay, so on here, I've asked a couple of times if anybody could help me find the Judy Sill documentary, and guess what? It's out. I've seen it, and it's fantastic. Lost Angel, The Genius of Judy Sill. Judy Sill, 70s era singer-songwriter. An incredible story, a heartbreaking story in many ways. She puts out a number of absolutely stunning records. And the documentary has interviews with, the peer group at that time for Judy Sill in Los Angeles is your Jackson Browns, your Linda Ronstadts, your James Taylors, like that era of LA, the troubadour, that era of that 70s LA scene. And Judy Sill, an integral part of it, but like a kind of lost to time person. And those records are a little lost, and they are absolutely beautiful. She's an incredible singer-songwriter. I can't recommend the documentary enough, but even more so, please, if you don't watch the doc, seek out the albums. Go to wherever you listen to music and listen to some Judy Sill. You won't be disappointed. It's fantastic. Okay, here's the thing. So a number of times I've come on here and asked for people's help finding stuff. And boy, have you guys helped on multiple occasions. Because of you, I have now access to Roger and Val, for example. Or because of you, the audience, I now have access to 30-something. Thank you. Thank you if you've helped get me the stuff that I'm looking for. And guess what? I'm still looking for stuff. So one of the things I'm looking for is Smiley's People. The John le Carré miniseries, the Alec Guinness miniseries of the Smiley story. Can't find it streaming anywhere. Can't find it. So if you have a way to get Smiley's People, let me know. I'm also looking to see, and maybe this is just obvious and I just don't know, and maybe the answer is I got to get Acorn TV or something like that. But I would like to see the adaptation of Jeff Lemire's Essex County. It was done in Canada. I love that comic or that graphic novel so much. I'm a big Jeff Lemire fan. I love everything he's doing with Andrea Sorrentino, Tenement and the Black Barn stuff. All this stuff I think is great. And I love his writing. And I'm so intrigued that they made an adaptation of this book, Essex County. Can't find it anywhere. So if you know how to get me Essex County, the TV show, send it away. I know it's Canadian, so it's probably... I'm sure Graham from Saskatchewan is going to have something to fucking say about it. God damn it. Okay. Those are the things. And I'm still looking for 32 Sounds. The documentary 32 Sounds. So somebody send me that. Okay, great. So those are the things I wanted to recommend. Actually, no, there's a couple more things. Podcasts. I recommended it a couple of times. I recommended it, I think, the last time I was on, but boy, it's in full swing. And this season of Dissect about MF Doom is fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. It's an incredible show. It's an incredible deep dive into MF Doom and Madlib and the Mad Villainy album, but MF Doom as a whole, starting at KMD and going all the way through. It is absolutely riveting stuff. Fantastic. I think it's a great show. Dissect already one of my favorite shows. From the Kendrick season to the Frank Ocean season to the recent Radiohead season, I think it's it's pound for pound, one of the best music podcasts out there. I'd say that and Song Exploder, and All Songs Considered are some of my absolute favorites. And here's a plug. I will be a guest on All Songs Considered, I believe next week, I think, or within the next few weeks. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that or if I'm supposed to announce that I'm doing it, but I recorded an episode and I hope they put it out soon. We talked about a lot of great music and I had a great time and I was truly absolutely delighted to be on a show that I listen to every week. So absolute blast. I will also recommend the brand new podcast from friend of the show, Alan McLeod, aka Molasses Boy. You've heard him on Doughboys. You've heard him on myriad other things. He has a new podcast called Walking About. I love this conceptually. It is just him on a walk with a friend in Los Angeles. So far, there's only 2 episodes. Janet Varney and Mike Mitchell both are fantastic, and they are just friends on a walk shooting the shit. And boy, do I enjoy that. It gives me those vibes of Two Johns Don't Make a Right. It is a true hangout show, and it's great. And Alan McLeod, one of the funniest people. You might know him from You're the Worst or from many other things, but I think it's great. So that's Walking About with Alan McLeod. You guys gotta check it out. And I mentioned it earlier, but I do want to give a special shout out to an episode of High and Mighty that I did recently with John Gabris. It was a live stream. I don't think the live stream is available, but the podcast episode is out. We talk about a ton of television. We talk about a ton of stuff. Sean Clements and Carl Tart stop in for a chat. Check out John Gabris's podcast. High and Mighty in general. But that's a good jumping on point if you haven't listened to it. We talk about a lot of the stuff that Paul and I have talked about here, including Bosch, including a lot of other dad TV. So get involved. And then if you like it, subscribe to John's podcast, and then also sign up for his Patreon, which I've talked about a lot here, The Action Boys. Gabrus does it with Ryan Stanger and Ben Rogers. It's three dudes talking for like 3 hours plus about like 70s, 80s, and 90s action movies. So if you want to listen to three very smart, funny people goof around and talk for 3 hours about Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, this is the podcast for you. It's called Action Boys. It's only available on Patreon. That's the deal. Okay, here we are. We're at the end of the show. We're racing to the end. Credits and end segment is what this section's called. That's it for the show. Rate and review us. Guys, I swear to God, it helps. It makes no sense, but it helps. Take a brief moment now to rate and review the show. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you're following us. Follow us on those platforms, but don't follow us on any other thing, especially in real life. Don't follow us. Visit us on social media at HDTGM. I'm assuming that's on everything. So whatever social media it is, go to at HDTGM, right? Is that for everything?
Yep.
That's a catch-all, right? Okay, great. A big thanks to our producers, Scott Sani and Molly Reynolds, our movie-picking producer, Avril Halley, our associate producer, Jess Cisneros, and our engineer, Casey Halford. We'll see you next week for Madame Web. Eat shit.